We begin with a study in contrast. Here are Presidents George W. Bush and President Barack Obama when confronted by public opposition to their policies.
Democracy is a beautiful thing, and that people are allowed to express their opinion. I welcome people's right to say what they believe.
I've listened to you. I heard you. I heard you. I heard you. All right? Now, I've been respectful. I let you holler. All right? So nobody's removing you. I've heard you, but you've got to listen to me too.
Believe me, no president likes to see the public turn out in large numbers against them and their agenda. But when it does happen, as you saw there, every one of them understands that it is the people's right to exercise free speech and to criticize their elected leaders at the top of their lungs. And that very thing is what makes America great. That is what makes America America. It's what makes us special all around the world. Until right now. Donald Trump showed the world what he thinks of the American people by literally broadcasting an image of himself pouring feces all over America and the American people. The No Kings protests clearly getting deep under Donald Trump's skin over the weekend. But more importantly, the protests show the contours of a new opposition in America, one led by the people. According to the organizers, 7 million people came out to protest Donald Trump on Saturday. More than 100,000 people marched in New York City. In Chicago, the march at one point stretched 22 blocks. But the protests were hardly confined to big cities in blue states. Here's what the No Kings protests look like in Anchorage, Alaska. Thousands of people taking to the streets. And the protests included people protesting from all walks of life. Here's what a U.S. Army veteran told a reporter at a protest in Oklahoma City.
I was willing to die and lost a leg in a foreign country fighting for their rights. There's no way I'm bending the only knee I have left for a king here in America. I can't sit idly by why rights are trampled on and ignored, and people are pushed and treated like second-class citizens.
Washington Post reports that efforts by Republicans in the last week to smear the protests ahead of the protests fell flat. Quote, Ezra Levin, co-founder of the liberal grassroots movement Indivisible, that has co-organized the No Kings rally, said that RSVPs had skyrocketed. He credited the increased interest in part to the Republicans' rhetoric about the rallies. Protesters told MSNBC in every city we covered that they felt an urgent need to stand up to the Trump administration.
They're not going to intimidate us with tyrant talk. We are out here to stand up for this democracy.
Do not cower to the fascism and the threats that are coming from D.C. That's what they want us to do, and they will only be successful in that if we remain silent.
I'm very much opposed to all of the policies of Donald Trump. I don't think we need a king. We definitely don't need a dictatorship, and it's time for him to go. I'm against everything that he says and does.
This is the most American thing that you can do. Protest and speak for what you believe in.
The people who come out here and fight and who want to resist, those are the people who make change. Those are the people who make history. And there are way more, like I said, there are way more of us than there are of them.
We have a constitution for a reason. It provides us inalienable rights that we have to adhere to. And in this country, we have no kings, period.
Millions of Americans rising up to protest Donald Trump is where we start today. Hunter Dunn is back. He's the spokesperson and national press coordinator for the 5051 movement, the organization behind the No Kings protest this weekend. Also joining us, chief political columnist, host of the podcast In Politic for Puck, MSNBC national affairs analyst John Heilman is back. And joining me at the table, Princeton University professor, MSNBC political analyst Eddie Glaude is here. Hunter, I start with you. You and John and I actually spoke around this time Friday, ahead of the protest, tell me what you saw. If anyone was I don't know where you had to be this weekend to miss them. They were literally in every town, in every corner, and coverage has been everywhere. But just give me a summary of what we saw in America over the weekend, and tell me if it exceeded your expectations or projections.
Yeah, I was helping organize the protest in downtown Los Angeles, where we had, based on drone footage, well over 100,000 people gathered together and hundreds of thousands more around the county and around the state of California. We saw over 7 million people protest at over 2,700 events around the world in peaceful dissent against Trump's authoritarian power grab, against his regime, against the ICE deportations, against the rise of fascism in this country. And I'm just going to tell you this, I've never seen a coalition this big. We had libertarians and democratic socialists, not just at the same protest, but working together to make it happen. And that is a massive shift from where we have been as a country over the past couple decades.
Hunter, was there any footage that came in as the day went on from any corners or towns that surprised you?
Yeah, well, first off, I was surprised by where we kicked off. It wasn't actually in the U.S. It started in South Korea because their October 18th is earlier than ours. But I saw small protests around the country. So I grew up in Orange County, and an amazing place that I saw was Huntington Beach, California, which is an incredibly red area. I've seen straight up basically Nazi rallies there. So to see a No Kings protest, to see a large turnout of people left, right, and center against this regime, that is a massive shift in what we're seeing. And we saw that in small towns around all 50 states, whether it's a red state or a blue state, a red state or a blue city, whether it's rural or urban. We saw a coalition that I don't think we've seen since World War II.
Hunter, we have some reporting here from the NYPD. They tweeted, quote, "The majority of the No Kings protests have been dispersed at this time. All traffic closures have been lifted. We had more than 100,000 people across all 5 boroughs peacefully exercising their First Amendment rights, and the NYPD made 0 protest-related arrests." The story was the same in New York, Austin, San Diego, Charlotte, Portland, according to the police departments. Donald Trump's response was to post an image of himself, thankfully AI generated, but we won't rule anything out at this hour, in an aircraft dumping feces across America and Americans. Even for him, it seemed like a new low. Any response to his reaction to the success of the No Kings protest?
Well, first off, I don't know what was worse, that video or him actually detonating a shell over the I-5. But just a quick recap, there was a ton of different GOP lies about No Kings, right? Democrats will end the shutdown post No Kings. That hasn't happened. Protesters are wildly violent. As you covered, that wasn't true. Protesters are paid. No, they're not. Soros checks are not coming in. I can tell you that much. And no one showed up. That was absolutely not true. We saw over 7 million people come out across the world. The only thing that Trump said or did this entire time that wasn't a lie was him shitting on everyday Americans. And he's been doing that since long before he gained political office.